Welcome to Echoes of Enlightenment, where we talk about spirituality, spiritual awakenings, life lessons, and overall self-development. In this episode, we'll be talking to the chosen ones. A lot of chosen ones have lived a difficult life. It always seemed like it's hardship after hardship after hardship. And it's always a challenge that we have to go through all the time. But the difference between a chosen one and someone else is that we bounce back up. You bounce back up every time. You can go through, it doesn't matter what you go through. You're always able to stand back up. And the thing is, as a chosen one, you really don't even realize how hard of a life you've had. You know it's been difficult, but from the outside looking in, most people couldn't handle that. They could not handle what you go through. The reason why you can go through it is because you don't know any different. You only have your life to compare it to. And sometimes you listen to other people talk about their lives and you're like, God dang, how do you keep getting all these great things? It seems like I gotta struggle, but you do have to struggle. But it doesn't seem that much of a struggle for you because that's all you kind of know. You can't compare it to something that you've never had. And that's an easy life. But during this talk, I want to talk about, for the chosen ones, we can forgive ourselves because we didn't know. After your awakening, you start looking back at your life. You start looking back at your life and you start seeing so much stuff that was going on that you didn't even realize was happening. And you're like, why did I stay in this situation that long? Why didn't I leave? Why did I put up with this? The reason why you put up with this stuff is because you're a whole different breed. Not saying that the chosen ones are better than anybody else. They're just different. They're built different. The way chosen ones see out of their eyes or view the world is that everybody thinks like they do, which is totally different. But you don't know that it's different because you can only view the world from your eyes, from your perspective or point of view. So when you're walking around here just naturally being authentic and caring and compassionate, you're assuming other people are doing the exact same thing or the exact same way. And then the tricky part is those people aren't that. Some people are, but the majority aren't. And when they mirror you and act like you, then that's your confirmation that those people do think like you do. Meanwhile, they're doing the most craziest, diabolical things behind your back. And you had no clue, just because all they needed to do was to show you a smile on their face that looked like yours. And you thought you had ran into somebody like you. They're just playing like they're like you. The whole time, they know that you're authentic. So it's not, they're looking for an authentic person. Those are the easiest ones to take advantage of. Somebody who doesn't, that's kind of naive. Chosen ones are pretty much naive because we live a whole different world than the majority of people. Our whole thought process is totally different. We move in our authentic selves. So after you finally wake up and realize what's been going on behind the scene, it's okay to forgive yourself for not knowing. That's good you didn't know it. And a lot of the times you don't know this is because God is protecting you. He's keeping, God is putting you in these crazy situations because he needs you to go through this. You're going to make it out, but you don't know you're going to make it out. So it just seems like it's never going to end. You don't know that there's an end in sight. You're going to come out on top. But you need to go through these things because there's a bigger plan for you later. And this is what your purpose has to do with it. There's a bigger plan. So God needs you to go through these situations. And you need to go through them because you need to be there firsthand. You need that firsthand experience. So when another person comes up and brings up that subject, you're like, oh, I've been through that, but you've made it out. God put you through those so you can give somebody direction. Because what if that person that you're talking to is halfway through that situation that you've already been through? You're so compassionate, empathetic, and authentic. You will honestly try your hardest to walk this person through this problem that you've already been through. That's why I put you through the fire like that in a ton of different situations. It's because your purpose is going to be maybe like some kind of social media person where you talk and speak out. Because people need to hear your voice. Or you might work somewhere for like the homeless. Because you're compassionate. When you're giving love, that love is coming from the deepest place, the most authentic place. You're not worried about what you're going to get in return. You're just giving that love. And there's not many people like that. And you would think, why would God put the authentic people through the fire like this? He puts you through it because, one, he knows you can handle it, and you will learn from those experiences, and those experiences won't taint you. They won't taint your character because it's ingrained in you. You're a rare breed. You're unbreakable. You're unbreakable. if you look at a chosen person, when you look at them, they do not look like what they've been through. If you look at the average person and they've kind of been through some stuff, one, you might not even see them because they might not even be here. Or two, if you do see them, they look 80 and they're 33. But a chosen person could have been through 20, 30 times as much as that one person. And they're 47, but they look 31. They're unscathed. So realize that the stuff you've been through and the betrayal you've been through wasn't your fault. You didn't know. You have that the authentic energy. And you had no clue that, because usually when you wake up and you see who you've been dealing with, you're like, oh my God, how did I even survive that? Because I was on Mars, they were on somewhere else, 2 different planets. But somebody had a suit on that said Mars. So I thought they were from Mars, but they were actually from somewhere else. All they had to do was put on a suit, and we believed them because we want to see all the goodness that people have in their hearts. That's all we're looking for. We're not, we don't even think that people are out to do evil things to us because we're not out there doing that. It doesn't make any sense. We understand that that's not how it works. That's not the energy we want to put out. So we're assuming that they're not doing it either because they're smiling and laughing in our face and doing crazy stuff behind our back. It would be a lot tougher for those people to do that same malicious thing to somebody like them. They couldn't really do it, or it wouldn't last as long because each one of them would be thinking that the other one is scamming on each other. So that's not going to last. But when you do that to a chosen person, we're not even thinking about a scam. It's like we agreed that we're going to be friends, right? Oh, we like each other, right? Yeah, okay. And we just go with that. We're friends. Another person's like, all right, now since you think we're friends, I get to do some tricks now. The whole time we're still thinking, oh, we're friends. But meanwhile, the craziest part, all those tricks that person is doing, backstabbing, lying, smearing your name, doing all this stuff, none of it is even penetrating you because you're guarded and protected, because you have a divine mission you need to do later. You just have to go through this situation to be able to tell your testimony later to somebody else that is healing from the situation, that's going through that situation, or is suspecting that they might be in that situation. But you've already ran that whole course. And you've looked at it and analyzed it. You made it out out on the other side. And now you can help them with that situation. But from the authentic, genuine bottom of your heart. And that's what we're here for. So always just forgive yourself for not knowing. We're supposed to be taught those lessons so we can reteach them by leading from example. But I'm going to end this right here. And I'll see you next time.